So to start things off, we're gonna dive into some of my strengths and talents and gifts, um, because really these are the things that helped me decide the career that I wanted to go into in my vocation. Starting off going into college, I was kind of confused on the career path that I wanted to go into. Um, but after talking with my mom and my family members, looking at some talents and gifts that I had, I was able to realize that psychology was the field that I wanted to go into. So coming into college, even um, until about a month before college, the first semester of my freshman year started, I didn't exactly know what career path I wanted to go into. Um, I was still navigating some things out, um, and I just didn't know what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And it wasn't until I sat down with my family and looking back at my past that I was able to understand what my future had entailed for me. So, growing up, mental health has always been something that has very been apparent in my life, even though I don't personally suffer with it. I have friends and family members who very much so do and struggle with it, or had struggled with it every day of their lives. Um, and really, at that time, a lot of them didn't even know that they were struggling with mental health. It wasn't until years later that we were able to figure out, okay, some of these things that you're experiencing isn't on like a normal spectrum level um, of an average person. And I feel like a lot of that is because in black communities, a lot of mental health stuff gets swept underneath the rug, and people don't necessarily talk out their problems as much as they should, um, which is another reason why I want to get into the mental health and work with black community people, because they don't also always feel as comfortable speaking um, and being able to talk out their problems, because a lot of the time they have to be on the defensive and kind of hold in their emotions and not outwardly explain and navigate some things that may be bothering them on the inside. And that kind of brings me into one of my gifts. I feel like as a human being, um, I'm very good with getting others to open up and talk. Like, even when I'm just out in public, somebody may stop me and they just will get to talking and telling me their whole entire life story, just because I'm a good listener and not judging others. Um, and then when it comes to my friends and family, being really patient with people, seeing the best in them, even when they may be struggling through things, kind of encouraging folks, um, that even if they're going through a struggle, that there is a brighter side of things, um, and just offering good advice to others and giving good solutions to problems. So inside of this new digital age, I feel like being patient and being able to see the good in others is a very important skill to have, because everything happens so fast and rapid with AI popping off, and just how social media kind of dwindles the real human experience. I feel like people often give up on people very easily these days. So I feel like my skill and gift of being able to see the potential in others and being able to work with others is something that's very important to have, and it's also been a very important skill for me to have. So, using that gift and keeping that in mind, I want to use those skills of being able to see the potential in people and then being patient with others into my future vocation. So, what I'm planning on doing after I finish my undergrad is going to graduate school and getting, at the very least, my master's degree. I want to go into clinical and counseling, and for psychologists. Um, so yeah, I'll at the very least need my master's degree. So my current goal, once I graduate, is to make sure I'm submitting applications so I can get into my master's program as soon as possible. Um, I was looking on ONET online, and it's actually a good growing field. It is a bright outlook, which means the field is growing and the demand is getting higher. Um, and so another important thing that I kept in mind, because as AI is growing, a lot of jobs are going to be taken over by machines, by robots. But human connectiveness is something, at the least very for the moment right now, it's something that a machine can't replicate, and it won't be able to, at the very least, for a very long time. Human service fields, I found that to be a very safe job to go into. Not that I'm only doing it just because it's a safe job, but also because I enjoy listening to people and helping them through their problems. I find that very fulfilling, seeing people become the best versions of themselves. So, and that leads me to my practicum. My practicum has been the very epitome of seeing people become the best versions of themselves. Um, so I work at In Bloom Autism, um, working with kids with the range of 3 to 6, and helping them learn how to function, whether that be motor skills, communication, social. It's very fulfilling to see the children improve, and you're literally seeing it day in and day out. Every week you can see improvements because you're tracking the data. They've taught me data collection, how to do stimulus control, um, endless things going on there at my job. It's been very fulfilling. Um, and it's been very nice to work with the children, also with the BCBAs there who make the behavior intervention plans. I've really been able to learn so much at my job, and I'm really glad to get that experience. Um, it's been very fulfilling. Also, on my side of things, it's been very important for me because I see it as a first step into going into my career job. For me, experience is more fulfilling than doing studying in a school setting. Not to say that one is necessarily unimportant, but for me, doing hands-on things is really how I learn the most. And also, it's a great way for me to start getting experience for when I put it on my resume. Um, I'm already going to be a step ahead of the game than others who may be just starting their practicum now. That by the time that I graduate from Concordia, I'll already have a year of experience working with hands-on, doing data collection, working with children, because I do want to specifically work with children when I go into my future vocation of counseling and doing clinical psychology. So it's been a great building block, and being able to work with great people, great families, great children. And furthermore, my practicum has been able to further instill some of the things that I'm learning inside of the classroom, like course objectives. For example, writing clinical notes after every single session. I have to write clinical notes, being able to navigate treatment plans, understanding that each client is different, and that what may work with one client may not work with another one. Being able to critical think, using communication skills for multiple different clients. Some of them aren't able to speak, so we have to use alternative communication devices, some of them being iPads, some of them using PEC books, just getting to the needs of each individual clients and working with them at their level. Also, demonstrating ethical standards, making sure that you're not talking about the clients using their names to outside people that aren't inside our facilities, being self-aware and developing professionalism, because as we are at our jobs, we need to act with a certain decorum, and making sure that we're respectful of our colleagues and just presenting ourselves in a good manner. These are all things that I've been learning at our job, and go along with our course objective. My practicum has really been able to let me see the things that we're learning in school are really important, like statistics, which very difficult to do, but important skill to learn. Research psychology, important things to learn. Learning able to read graphs. And graphing is something that's really important at my job. Also, abnormal psychology. Even though all of the kids at my job are obviously autistic, and you know that off the bat coming in, it's just really cool to be able to see some of the specific criteria and stuff. And you can see that in the clients and stuff, looking at some of the rigidities, and being able to understand the knowledge and terminology, from the classes that we were able to take through my tenure at Concordia.